Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a bloodbath in the gold prices and the silver prices. And the question right now is what will happen next? What caused it to happen? I think it's important for us to analyze this because it has got tremendous implication to US dollar, stock market, and so on. Let's watch on, shall we? So gold prices and silver prices just went down rock bottom in one day. And we got to analyze why, and more importantly, what should we do? And this is an important analysis because this haven't happened for a long time. So the gold prices went down by about 10 over percent, and this is the steepest decline since 1980. The silver prices also collapsed by almost 28%, and this is the worst day also since March the 1980. And these are numbers we haven't seen before in terms of commodity price crashes. Now, silver and gold has always been reputed as powerful wealth preservers, and in Chinese we call it 金银财宝. Jing and Ying are all ranked the highest, gold and silver rank the highest, but today they have lost the reputation of it being a preserver of wealth. This wasn't a normal retracement or a crash because it was actually a deleveraging event. There were a lot of forced selling, there were margin calls, and there were a lot of herd mentality because over the last few months, gold prices been shooting up like crazy, and everybody now joined the crowd, like what I call lemmings. Okay. And I've actually came out with a picture that warned everybody, don't be lemmings. And guess what? Many people just got burned very badly because they leveraged and died. Now, it all started with Kevin Warsh being nominated by Donald Trump as the next Federal Reserve chairman. Now, Kevin Warsh, I used to think of him as more or less a Donald Trump stooge, but no, apparently his reputation is not one. Let me give you a bit of background of him. He was from Harvard and Stanford University, so very smart guy, and he was the youngest Fed governor ever at the age of 30 plus years old from 2006 to 2011, and he served through many administration and served through the 2008 global financial crisis, and now he's being nominated by Donald Trump as the Federal Reserve chairman. Okay, he's very capable, market literate, very hawkish as a reputation. Hawkish, okay, not dovish. And I'll explain what's so much about hawkish. So Kevin Warsh has always, in my opinion, been branded as a Trump stooge, someone who will follow what Trump says. But no, actually, his reputation is one that's hawkish, independent, and he's a traditional inflation fighter. He's more pro maintaining interest rate or increasing interest rate than cutting interest rate, which is quite surprised. I would thought Trump would appoint someone the reverse, but he didn't. So with him of such a reputation of fighting inflation, and given inflation is still on the high side, it is likely that he will preserve the interest rate at a comfortable level and not let it crash. So the US dollar went up. As a result, gold, which is a alternative of US dollar, suddenly lost its value and crashed terribly. That's essentially the reason why the US dollar went up, and as a result, the gold prices went down. So the fear that the Federal Reserve will lose its independence, that fear has gone down quite a lot. So I thought, that's a good sign because that would actually send a very good signal to the stock market as well. If the Federal Reserve central bank lose its credibility, then we will have a serious problem. So I think this is where I want to stress that that this risk is no longer there in a big way. So in a nutshell, if the market believe that the Federal Reserve won't panic cut interest rate, then the real interest rate will rise and precious metal will lose its shine. So that's essentially why gold is now losing its shine. So there's also a second reason why the gold prices and silver prices went down is because there's massive profit taking because it's gone up a lot. and there was a lot of leveraging. So there was forced selling, and that's a result. That's a result of what we call margin calls, because a lot of people invest in gold and silver based on margins. They're basically, putting up a sum of money to buy a bigger sum. So they basically leverage, and leverage is a very dangerous thing. So with this extreme leveraging, when there are margin calls, everything come crashing down. So when it start crashing down, CME, which is the group that runs the most important derivative exchange, including COMEX, which manages gold and silver futures, they raised the gold margin requirement from 6 to 8%. As a result, the many people could not put up that kind of amount because they actually leverage. So imagine you are leveraged by 5-10 times, and you put up a lot more. So as a result, many people either have to top up cash or they'll force liquidation. So this thing caused it to go down. That happens in the silver market as well. So the margin hike by CME caused more cash to be put forward. Many of the traders don't have enough cash, they force sell, and as a result, prices crash. So in short, all these were triggered by the appointment of Kevin Warsh as the Federal Reserve Chairman nominee. Now, he still need to go through the Senate for approval, but this is a good sign that the market now are reacting and view his appointment positively and hawkishly. Now, just to talk a little bit about gold prices. Gold prices have crashed dramatically before. So in 1980s, it crashed by 50%, and I think in history it has crashed by 60 to 70% as well. So it is not a trivial thing. So gold is not really a preserver of wealth. Now the silver crash was even worse. Okay, the crash yesterday was 30%, and you have in history also massive crashes that happened before. And that's where I think we really need to recheck our assumption that are this precious metal really a preserver of wealth? So I think the lesson to all investors who are chasing bull runs is this, that number one, gold is not stable. It's wrong to think of gold as a stable asset. It is not. And everybody must also believe that, things that go up very fast can come down very fast as well. It's just a matter of volatility. And it is definitely not an insurance asset to bet to shield yourself from the risk of other asset. So it is potentially an asset that can get you killed if you bet too much on it or you leverage. So what will happen next? Well, it all depends on what we will see Kevin Warsh handle the interest rate policy in subsequent FOMC meeting. If he gets appointed and then he runs subsequent one after May when Jerome Powell steps down. And if he were to maintain his hawkishness, then maybe the US dollar will remain stable and strong. As a result, then the gold prices won't collapse. And I think that will be a good sign. We don't want the interest rate to crash, and we don't want the US dollar to crash as well. I think that's something not good for maintenance of wealth for many holders of US asset. So now let's also not be blind that we now also have geopolitical pressure. Wars are threatening. Iran is now being threatened by aircraft carriers and fleets. So I think that's something that there could be potentially something brewing. And all the wars that's happening between Ukraine and Russia is not over yet. There are always regular tension between a couple of places and things like that. And the trade war pressure are all not over yet. So all these will cause gold prices to spike. And when those pressure happens, gold prices will start spiking up again. So the volatility could go either way. So it can come down, it can go up again. Will it keep going up? I don't know, but I think it's something that we got to watch out for. I think this is where we got to provide a holistic strategy where gold can come in. I think, in my opinion, gold is a diversifier. A small percentage of your wealth could be in gold, but we got to be careful not to chase emotional runs. And I always say that before you touch anything that has high volatility, always set yourself a financial safety net. With your special account, if you are below 55 years old, go and top up all the way to the FRS as early, as young as possible. Some people actually say that, I'm going to do it gradually so that I can save on tax returns and things like that. Don't be silly. The compounding power will far outweigh whatever you can save on your tax returns. And second is that once you're past 55 years old, go top up your retirement account to your ERS. There are so many nonsense YouTubers giving rubbish advice on advice against this. I just say this, if your health is okay, your life expectancy is okay, and you're middle income and above, go work your ass out to top up your RA to ERS. It will provide you an insane amount of longevity protection, very high income. Once your financial, emotional cushion is there, you can now handle investments much better. Okay. So now I deem myself as quite a good investor. And if I'm saying that I can't, outdo what CPF Life and SA returns can give me, I don't think many people can. So we should always form a financial safety net. Then we think about diversification into other assets such as your S&P 500 globally diversified portfolio, NASDAQ, gold, Bitcoin, or whatever. Okay, so I think these are something that we should think about first. The layering up, I think, is important, and I hope everybody will pay attention to the importance of a financial safety net. Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in my live stream. Have a good day, and bye-bye. Here, I'd like to remind everybody that you can actually download the PDFs that I presented in our Telegram channel. Here's a QR code. You can always scan. Remember to follow our Telegram channel. And when I go live on my YouTube channel, you will also get a notification from there as well. There's a lots of community experts there to help you with your questions. And we look forward to joining you in discussion in our Telegram channel as well. So please join us there and have a nice day.